Thank you, girls. Thank you. So a quick question thank you. Thank you for clapping. Quick question for all of you. Do you want to get motivated, like motivational speech, or do you want to like learn and make money? Who needs to be motivated? Who wants to make millions? All right. So look, I'm not a what? Oh, I'm not a. I'm not here to motivate you, coach you, or sales thing, or none of that. I'm a business person, so I'm gonna go as quick as I can. You guys want to restart the timer so that I know how much time I have? The clock, the timer. So I'm gonna just jump into value, all right? Like I can help you build a $100 million company. I'm working to get to $1 billion. I can help you have, a few million in the bank, like 60. So I can help you have millions in the bank. And the thing with me is I started businesses, one business, another company, and I made a lot of mistakes. I started in sales. How many of you are in sales right now? Sales? I started in mortgage sales. So I started selling mortgages when I was 19. So today I turned 42 years old. I have a lot of experience. I made a lot of mistakes. And I'm here to talk to you about the good, the bad, and the ugly. So how many of you have right now maybe, who's broke? Just be honest, who's broke? Raise your hands. Broke? Be proud of it. I mean, I'm broke. We're all broke at different levels. What about, okay, so if you're broke right now and you have good credit, raise your hand. All right, so you can, there's a lot of things you can do. So sometimes you think, man, I'm going to go out of business. You think, man, you know what, it's hard right now. And you worry about things that you can't control. And the way you have to act in business is most of the time you're like 1 inch away. And Marshall was talking about that. You're 1 inch away. You're like just seconds away from making it happen, making it work. But you quit. So in 2019, I started in mortgage. I was a mortgage loan officer, and that's how I started. I got into sales. And then when I started my business as an entrepreneur, mortgage guy, 2018, you see, not too long ago, how it varies. You start with 8,000 and you end with 22,000. So it was a good month. I made a little bit. But you see the average balance, 15,000, but sometimes you don't have any money. So one of the number one principle here, if you want to make it big in life, you want to build a $100 million business, you want to have millions in the bank, you have to be willing and understand that you're going to lose it and get it, lose it and get it. You're going to mess up your credit, you're going to improve it, and it's just part of being an entrepreneur. It's not going to be easy. Life is hard as fuck. But I always say life is easy because when I say life is easy, I'm tricking myself into like, hey, you know what? It is easy. But a little bit about my story when I started, in 2000, when I was 19, 20, I started selling mortgages. Then 2013, somebody else saw something in me that I didn't see, and she told me, Gina Carr, she's like, hey, Albert, why don't you just start your own business? You have that entrepreneur mindset. You should start a business. So then I said, well, okay, let me do it. And so the way I did it was I Googled, how do you start a mortgage company? I Googled it. No ChatGPT before. I Googled, how do you start a mortgage company? So what I did is I went out there and I got my corporation and I filed an S-Corp. I got an S-Corp, the mortgage guy. And then I went and got a broker's license with the Department of Real Estate. So it was a whole process. I did all that. And then I started my company. A lot of things changed. So I had some money saved up, a little bit, not a lot. But I went and I have my whole journey of how I did it. So when I started my business, I have no clue how to do it. But I did have some mentors that I got. And these two were super important. So back in 2014, 15, I hired Grant Cardone and Patrick Bet-David. So they mentored me one-on-one. So Patrick and Grant didn't have much followers. They had a few followers, but I got them when they were like super, like barely in the come up. So they weren't doing that well. They were doing pretty well, but not that well like they are today. So they spent a lot of time with me, and I learned two things. Grant, scale 10x, think bigger, like go for it. Somebody asked me in the bathroom right now, damn Albert, like do you get nervous when you go up there? How is it? And this is the 9th year that we've been doing this, so it's been a long time. It's a lot of practice. When you practice, you get used to it. You get better. It's like football or any sport. You get better. So when I'm here and Natasha's, her video didn't play, and I could see her, I'm up on stage, I could see her right there, so I'm just kind of communicating, is it good, is it bad, things are gonna happen, but with practice, you get better and better, like kind of like what Andrew did, he fucked up my computer. I had everything set up. I have, you know what LastPass is? LastPass? So LastPass saves your passwords in a safe place, so you're able to log in and you just click LastPass and all your passwords are saved, so you could go and log into all your accounts, everything. So he cleared my cache and the whole the browser, so everything was deleted. So I had to put it manually. So that's what happened. I wanted to show you my Equifax thing because it shows you like my credit score now. So the credit score, you fuck it up, you get it back. In other words, your credit and your money in your bank account is all made up. Ever since the first event we had, the Driven event, we took a risk. Like Grant Cardone, take risks, 10x, think bigger. So we took a risk. The first Driven event, we didn't have the money for the event. So this is how easy it is to make an event. You use other people's money. So if you don't have money right now, use other people's money. So the first Driven event, I got credit cards. The first event, the cost of the first event was $300,000. We didn't know how to do it the perfect way. So we ended up spending $300K that we didn't have. But what I did is I applied for a bunch of credit cards. And I got $100K limit with Chase. Then I got some credit cards with Bank of America. Then I got an $80K limit with Seal. Then I even went and I said, hey, Dad, can I borrow your credit? And he said, yeah, of course. So I got credit under my dad. So I literally got like $300,000 in credit in like a matter of a week using my social, her social, and my dad's social. And I started the event. And I convinced him, because you got to be good in sales. You got to have a good pitch. So I'm pretty good at pitching and things like that, selling. So I convinced him. It was the easiest convince that I've ever done. And I got the $300,000. We had the event, and at the event, things happen. So things get shaky and things break down. So I remember Elena Cardone is on stage, and I'm sitting right there where Betcha is. Right there, just looking at Elena Cardone. And I remember that Sales getting all stressed out, the team's getting stressed out, and they're like, hey, we still have a $26,000 balance that we have to pay to the AV and the audiovisual team. And we don't have the 26K. We have to wait for the event, and hopefully we make some sales at the event that's gonna help pay for it next week. So I'm thinking like positive, it's gonna work, we're gonna make sales, because what solves any problem except death? Sales, right? Money. Sales, money. And money is made up. Like as you see, like sometimes you have no money, sometimes you have a lot of money, but you have to keep using it to invest and grow your business. So when that's going on and that's happening, we use our sales and we talk to the audiovisual because they threatened to cut the cord. So they're like, I'm gonna cut the cord, and Elena's on stage, Elena Cardone. Grant Cardone's coming up next, and then I speak at the end. It's the first Driven event. First Driven event, 2016, 9 years ago. So without Driven, our companies don't continue to grow like that. Without mentors, they don't continue to grow. So once I did that, I got Patrick, I hired Patrick, because I have a business. We have the mortgage guys, in 2021, we did over like $30 million for the first time in revenue. It was like the best year, easy times, interest rates at 2%. What else? People are getting free money. People are getting loans. And as Marshall was saying, there's a lot of stupid people in this world, right? People that are just not smart. So you give that's why they say you give $1 million to everybody in the world, and you spread it out. $1 million to everybody. And dumbasses are going to lose it, and it's going to go back to the 1%ers because they know they're smart. Like Marshall was saying, they know how to use money. So people can say anything and everything about you, that you're a scammer, that you rent your Ferraris, that you rent where you live, that you have fake watches. They could say, oh, he's faking it till he makes it. But track record, track record speaks for itself. So when you started in business and sales since 19 years old, and then 2013 you start a company, and then you go through all these ups and downs, and then it's 2025, and we're here still doing the events. You know, we're still operating in business. We're still looking like if you're stressed out and you're going out of business, you're not going to look like me, right? You're not going to have good skin, fit, and good energy and everything. You're going to look a little bit defeated. You're going to have wrinkles. You're going to be maybe, you're not going to look in the best shape. You could tell when somebody's really, really struggling. But sometimes you are really, really struggling, and as a leader, you have to show otherwise to your team, to your people, to your company, to your family, because if you as the leader, you're struggling, and you could tell you look like shit, and you look like you're about to go out of business and get a heart attack, then you're going to give that energy to your team, so your company is not going to function well. You're really going to go out of business. So that's all part of the being in the game for so long. And listen to this, when you've been in business for 10 years or more, how many of you have been business owners for 10 years or more? If you've been in business for 10 years or more, you have 87% chance of staying in business and growing. So there's only 13% chance you go out of business. So that means you got to be a real dumbass if you go out of business. So the good news is if you've been in business for 10 years, you're going to continue to make more money and grow. Because when you have hard times, you're going to figure it out. That's entrepreneurship. You got to figure it out. You know, like when you're a business owner, you make money every day. You collect checks. Sometimes it's every week. So you know that throughout the week, you're going to get a lot of deposits. And when you start building your business over the years, and you keep watering the grass, you keep putting the gas into the fire, it's just going to grow. That's why Neil Patel and myself and other people that have been in business for a long time, they say the best investment is in you. But the best investment is investing in your business. So if you have a business, and think about your core business. Our core business is not the events. It's definitely not coaching. We just started coaching. That's a whole different topic. But our core business is mortgage. It's real estate. You know, we built an escrow company too. So the mortgage guys, 13 years in business, Ambiance Realty, 12 years in business, escrow, our company, Conquer Escrow, going on 4 years of business. Where's Michelle? Is Michelle here? Michelle runs our escrow company, Conquer Escrow. 4 years in business. And ask Michelle, hey, Michelle, has it been smooth, right? And everything is pink? She'll be the first one to tell you, damn, Albert stresses me out the fuck out every week. Till today. Ask Sil, ask my team, but that's why business is not for the faint-hearted. Entrepreneurship is not for the faint-hearted. Another way of knowing who's real and who's not, somebody that is not real is not going to have a best friend like Neil Patel. I'm not going to say the number, but his net worth starts with a B, and it's plural, not singular, if you know what I mean. It's not a 1B. It's plural. My best friend, I talk to him every day. Still probably, I don't know, might be thinking it's weird, but we'll talk in the morning like at 2, 3 a.m. for 2 hours sometimes. So So Neil, like I spend a lot of time with him. We have lunches all the time, and he's very particular and selective with his time. He just doesn't spend time with anybody. So when people ask me, what do you do for self-improvement books? I'm huge in learning, but there's a lot of books. I've read a lot of books. I used to read a book a week, long time ago, but now when you have somebody like this, that's like a real book that you have in front of you. And then imagine people like Neil, they have friends that are worth 10 billion. So then sometimes he's like, hey, I'm going to bring a friend. You know, he's worth like 13, 16 billion. I'm like, damn. So you learn to communicate with them. Is it scary the first time you talk to somebody that's wealthy? Yes, it is. Is it scary to talk to a Hall of Famer football player? Yes, it is. But when you have practice, you get better and better and better. And then you develop that skill of communicating with people, building rapport, sales skills, people skills. That's why when people like you, they're going to say yes. So Neil's going to be here today. Well, we'll get a lot of value from him. But how do you get into that room? Look, I'm going to say this one time. This was the inner circle. And if you guys want to get the QR code, you get it today for $15,000. All right? Let me tell you what it is, though. It's $50,000, and you get it. It was $30K, but I just said just make it $15K, and we only have space for 10. There was one person that did it yesterday, so we have 9 left. Okay, and it's once we get the 10, it's done, and it's $15K. What do you get from this? All right, Neil Patel is in here, so you get to meet Neil Patel. I think one of my guys here asked Neil at the brunch, hey, can you speak at my event? And he was like, yeah, I'll speak at your event. You know, somebody like Neil Patel, he doesn't charge to speak. When your net worth is in the B's, not M's, like you don't need a speaking fee. It's next level. Like he doesn't need it. But imagine the power. Like you're gonna see him. But like when you see him today, you're gonna get so much value, but things that are gonna move the needle. There's a lot of people on social media right now that are saying that they're rich and they're successful, and cars. Like Neil laughs at like those fancy cars. Like it's not important to him. It's real value. But I'll say it really quick and I'll move on. I'm only gonna bring it up here this time, but what this is, it's 3 weekends out of the year. So we spend 3 weekends together. How many of you here are part of the inner circle? Raise your hands. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So we have plenty of the people here. You get a free ticket. So the CEO ticket the CEO ticket alone is $6,000, $10,000. So you get a free CEO ticket with this. Not only that, we spend 3 weekends together. So 3 weekends together, and what we do is we meet in the beginning of the year, in the middle of the year, late summer, and then at the end of the year. So to get a business plan for the next year, end of the year, in the beginning of the year to set up a strong year, and then in the middle, late summer, to make sure you're on track. 3 weekends. We meet at the headquarters. Friday, we have a mastermind at the office, and I have billionaire friends, and I have friends that are in the hundreds of millions. And they come, we have other teachers that give you value. And then Saturday is all day at the headquarters, all day from the morning till the end. Kind of like a 5K mastermind. Some of you have been to the 5K mastermind. So we spend a full day there. And then the third day is my favorite. We go to our house in Bel Air. That's the house. And we have a mimosa time. And we just, it's more to network. I have a picture right here of right here. I was a little tipsy. I had my shades on. So that's, you see Neil, how excited he is? So that's our house. That's the Bel Air house. And we have a brunch mastermind. And then you get some merch. You get access to our podcast studio. How many of you have a podcast? Anybody have a podcast? The reason why we survived in mortgage and real estate is because of our personal brand, because of Driven. Without Driven, we would be out of business in mortgage and real estate. There's months where I have to inject to our real estate companies close to $100,000 a month. And I'm not talking about the last year. I'm talking about the last few years and a half, where I have to get my personal money and boom, inject our real estate mortgage companies money just to keep everybody employed. It's real shit. You know, and I've renegotiated office leases. I've hired really good attorneys to help me settle some debt. We get lawsuits here and there. So there's the good, the bad, and the ugly about being an entrepreneur. I mean, how many of you have ever gotten money wiped out of your account from the state or the IRS? Anybody? It's not for the faint-hearted. So like I said, you guys want a motivational speech, or you wanted me to give you real stuff that's going to help you? Because I know some people that might be new. You want to get into sales, you start making money. Then if you want to take it to the next level, you become a business owner. You become an entrepreneur or an intrapreneur. And there's a lot of stuff here that I can go through, but I'm not going to have time for all of that in a few hours here, you know, in 2 days. But that's why these are very valuable. You get access to the podcast studio. You got to have a podcast to build your brand. It's part of it. You do mortgages, start a podcast, talk about mortgages, solar, insurance. The more people that see you on YouTube, the more you're going to grow, the more money you're going to make. You're going to grow your audience. Because smart people are on YouTube. That's where the smart people are. The smartest people are not on TikTok or Instagram watching 30-second clips of people like dancing around like that, showing their butts and things like that. People are going to watch YouTube content, podcasts, things like that. Now, apart from that, you also get discounted marketing packages from our team. You get access to all our offices all over California. So you get access to all our offices. We have Long Beach, Downey, Palmdale, and more, and the headquarters. So if you want to take a client and you want to wow them, then you take him there, and you could take him to our headquarters, use our conference, book it, use our facility. We got a gym. We got a lot of that stuff. And then you also get the bi-weekly coachings that we have. So just get the QR code, ask me later, or ask my team. How many driven closers here? Raise your hand. Any driven closers, or they're outside? Make noise. Are you guys here? We have a few. You also get 10 free executive tickets, and you get unlimited general tickets for the driven event. So it's just a plus. So enough of that. That's the inner circle. If you want to meet people like Neil Patel, people like that, then you have to be willing to pay to play. All right? You guys know what pay to play means, right? You got to be willing to pay to play. One time I was in the 10X conference. I think it was the second one. And I remember that they weren't doing any sponsors. They didn't want to have any sponsors where they get paid $30K, $40K, $50K, and then you're able to sponsor your business, your company. And I was close to Grant and Jared back then. Grant's in town. I think he's been living here for a month or so. You know, how many knows Grant Cardone? How many people? Yeah, so Grant blocked me. He blocked my cell phone, and he blocked me on Instagram, so I can't communicate with him. He blocked me. It's another long story. But I remember Grant and Jared were on stage, and I was like sitting down, and I said, hey, guys, Jared, I want to be a sponsor. Can I sponsor? Because I knew the power of being known. You know, some people say you want $1 million or you want 1 million followers, real followers. You want $1 billion or you want 1 billion followers, real ones. Because you all know this lady, right? Watch. And I have a bunch of slides. We go over these. We go over this lesson. It takes us like a full weekend. So that's why I'm saying the inner circle. If you want to get all this and do it in slow motion and kind of learn everything, because I can't go over every detail right here, but I'll give you little snippets. But innovative campaign. One of the best books in marketing that I read is called Blue Ocean Strategy. Blue Ocean Strategy. What was Kim Kardashian's innovative campaign? Anybody? What was Kim Kardashian's innovative campaign? Huh? Well, some people say her ass. Some people say her porn video. But keep in mind that Kim Kardashian, she's the wealthiest one from the family. All the other ones, they don't really have money. The mom, they don't really have money. She is the real billionaire. Kim. She's the main and only one. The other ones, they have some money, but they don't have a lot of money. She's a legit billionaire. She used to be Paris Hilton's assistant. She used to handle she used to be like Maria for me. So she used to help Paris Hilton get her clothes, kind of organize the closet, run errands for Paris Hilton. And now she's a billionaire and Paris Hilton is nowhere close. Now when you have these events where people go, like these fashion shows or whatever, Paris Hilton is there. Nobody knows who she is anymore. Nobody approaches her. And she can't even walk anywhere. So she built a brand where everybody knows her. And that's how she grew her wealth. So you got to think in today's world, like, hey, if you want to have a business, you want to grow it, like what's going to be your innovative campaign? How are you going to get attention and be different from the rest? So when we started our first business, the mortgage guy, I got a mentor, Patrick, and he taught me something that Cardone couldn't teach me. He said, hey, you need operations, systems, processes. Sales going to talk about the operation side. But if you have systems and operations for your business is run without you. So for example, like my day in today's world is like I'm not in the office all the time. I'm always like floating around and focusing on MMAs, money-making activities. I'm always figuring out, how am I going to solve this problem? How am I going to solve this business issue? What other relationship can I make? What's my next innovative campaign? What kind of meeting can I do? What kind of podcast can I be on? Like, where am I going to find that next big idea? But I have a bunch of employees, staff, team, which without them, we wouldn't be where we are. They do a lot of the hard work, a lot of the leg work. But you hire people for that. So like every day, we just get deposits. How many of you have a sales team? Sales team. How many of you sell your own products? So who has how many salespeople do you have? Carlos. $3 million? No, but how many salespeople? ¿Cuántos de ventas? Gente de ventas? 200 people in here in the U.S. Okay. Carlos came from where? What city? So you came from Querétaro. He flew in from Querétaro. He's a CEO. You know, like we have people that come from Australia, from, I was talking about you, Chris. I don't know if you were here, Christopher. You, were you here when I mentioned that you asked Neil Patel to speak at your event? Yeah. Oh, you were here? Oh, yeah, yeah. So he asked Neil Patel at the Inner Circle. He's part of the Inner Circle too. Can you speak at my event? Neil's so nice that he doesn't know how to say no, but don't, I don't want all of you asking him today, like, can you speak at my event? But yeah, he's so cool, so nice. Money's not an issue for him, but yeah. We started the company and then Patrick told me, hey, instead of the mortgage guy, make it the mortgage guys, one letter. Because if you make it the mortgage guys, more people want to be part of it. We thought about the mortgage girls. How many girls here? Yeah, mortgage girls. So, yeah, women are beautiful. So, what we're becoming now is this. So driven is the next virgin. When you think about virgin, have you ever been to virgin.com? Wait till you see driven.com. But virgin.com, When you think about airlines, which airline did you fly in, Carlos? Aerolínea. ¿Cuál te viniste? Aerolínea. So, ¿qué aerolínea era? Aeroméxico. How many of you know Aeroméxico? So when you think about Aeroméxico, who's the CEO founder? I don't know. When you think about American Airlines, who's the founder, CEO? I don't know, right? United, Spirit, all of them? You don't know who the founder is. When you think about Virgin Airlines, do you know the founder? Who knows the CEO founder or the founder of Virgin Airlines? Richard Branson. Because I'm around a lot of these high-level, uber successful people, friends, mentors, keep in mind, I know I'm going all over the place, but I want to give you like real value that helps you make money. You know, I can't tell you how to be a billionaire. Neil can, but I can tell you how to build a $100 million company, and I can tell you how to have a few millions of dollars in the bank, and how to grow your business. So one of my smart friends told me, Albert, Driven is the next Virgin. Like, you imagine Driven solar, imagine Driven real estate, imagine Driven mortgage, imagine Driven financial. We have this new thing. I have this new partnership with Ed Milet, David Meltzer, Marshall Falk, WFG, World Financial Group. It's one of the biggest in that space, if not, yeah, one of the biggest. So being around in the right rooms and around those people is going to create a lot of opportunity. So I got the idea, the advice to, hey, go Virgin. So Virgin, when you go to their website, you click companies and look at all the stuff they have. Virgin Active, Virgin Australia, Virgin Atlantic Holidays, Virgin BET, Virgin Balloon Flights, Virgin Books. You get the point. You go to Virgin stock. How much are they worth? Let's see. Market cap. This is one of them. I don't have the name of the parent holder of his company, but him alone, he's worth $2.8 billion. We see Jeff Bezos right here. Another thing that I did is when you're growing your business, sometimes you need to raise capital. Have any of you ever raised capital? So sometimes you're about to go out of business and you gotta figure it out. Like I talked about figuring it out. You pick up the phone and you sell. You call why do you want a rich friend? A rich friend can wire you $1 million. So what did Jeff Bezos did? A lot of people see Jeff Bezos and you see like 217 billion, right? Did you guys know that in 1995, Jeff Bezos, he needed $1 million to stay in business. So he was going to go out of business. He was dead. Jeff Bezos, 1995. 1995 was the worst recession dating back to today's recession. So 1998 wasn't that bad as it is now. Now it's worse than 2008. 2008, yeah. It hasn't been this bad. The economy hasn't been this bad since 1995. So 1995, Jeff Bezos is going out of business. And guess what he did? He needed $1 million. So he raised capital. He had a meeting with 55 investors. I might be off by a few numbers, but 55 investors. And 20 of them said yes, and 45 or 35 said no. So each investor gave him about $50,000. I think it was 25 investors at average 50,000, so he got his million. So he got $1 million, and guess how much he gave away of his company? Amazon. Guess how much he gave away for $1 million? Anybody take a guess? Not 15. If you want to find a company's value, just Google their stock and then go to market cap, and you're going to see the valuation of the company. So his company is worth $2 trillion. All right? So in 1995, this shows you how long it takes to grow a business. So when you think about like us, you think about the mortgage guys, the oldest company that we have, the mortgage guys. We've been in business for about 13 years. We're babies. Like this is gonna take long. Like we're about to go. Like we have a lot of things that are gonna happen. Like we're gonna be nationwide. We're gonna be a lender. We're gonna have some partners. We're gonna develop some technology and software, CRM, and that's gonna make the company grow, be worth more. We're gonna hire employee salespeople. A lot of things are gonna change, but you have to know how to do it. You need the strategy. You need the blueprint. You need the mentors. Having said that, Amazon has been around for a long time. $2 trillion. So he gave away 20% of his company for $1 million. 20%. So 20% into today, 20% of what he gave in 1995 is worth hundreds of billions of dollars. Hundreds of billions. So people say, "Oh, do you regret it? You could have just, you could have had hundreds of billions more," but he would have gone out of business. So if right now you're struggling with your business, like maybe you're like, "Man, I don't know if it's going to work out," just remember what Jeff Bezos did. Just remember that Donald Trump has done how many bankruptcies? Not 6, more than that. Close to 18. And you understand bankruptcies, right? There's different types of bankruptcies. And it's the law. It's the game. Just like you fuck up your credit, very easy to fix it. Just like money is very easy to be made. I went to the bank last week. Last week I went to the bank. And I was giving Michelle, my escrow girl, she's co-owner of our escrow company, and I gave her a check. It was a nice check. Nothing crazy, under $10,000, but around there. And she had the check, so she was going to go to the bank, cash the check. And I told her, "Hey, where are you going right now?" She's like, "Oh, I'm going to go to the bank. They're going to close at 5. And I'm like, "Well, for what? Like, are you going to get some cash?" She's like, "Yeah." And I'm like, Don't go. You're gonna waste your time." And she's like, looks at me all weird, like, she's probably thinking like, I don't have any money in the account. It's not gonna clear or something. And I tell her, "Hey, Michelle, don't go to the bank. Trust me, I just came from the bank." I went there and I was trying to get some cash. And the bank told me, they just looked at me weird because I asked her, "How much cash can I get?" And they were looking at me. And they're like, "Cash?" And I'm, "Yeah, like, what's the most I can get?" They're like, "Well, how much do you need?" And the lady looks at me like, and she was like, "A lot of people have came today to get cash. It's a weird day." And just keep this between us, right? She tells me, and because they know me, they like me. I go there with my parents sometimes. So I asked her, "Well, I don't know, can I take 20 G's? 15 G's?" And she's like, she looks at me like, and I'm like, well, how much can I take out? And I'm at that point, I'm getting a little bit worried. I'm like, well, what the fuck? Are the banks going to crash or what's going on? So the answer to that is money is made up. They don't have the money. Like it's fake money. The U.S. is in debt, right? But trillions of dollars in debt. They need to refinance it and lower the rate right now. So there's no money. The money is just made up. So she told me that they were down to their last $5,000 in the vault. They had $5,000. So I'm like, damn, only $5,000 in the bank? So they gave me, I think, $3,000 or something like that. So they're like, okay, we could give you $3,000. Hopefully nobody comes because we're not going to have any money. So you realize the moral of the story, right? The money is not there. It's made up. So now, why do you think wires work? Because wires are fake money. What cashier's checks, fake money. Cashier's checks, they just paper. They just print it. So there's no real like cash. Try going to the bank and taking a lot of cash. So how do you build a big company? Does anybody have any questions, by the way? Any questions? We keep it interactive. So look, how many of you right now are faking it till you make it? Be honest, be honest. 2016 was the first year I made $1 million. We made $1.6 million. $1.6 million around there, 2016. First thing I did was went and got my Ferrari. First thing I did to build my brand. I was faking it till I made it. You know, but even when you make it, even when you make 30 million also back into your business. You grow your business. You keep reinvesting in your business because then you build something that's called vertical integration, which I'll show right here. We have 10 more minutes. So just 10 more minutes of your time. We're going to cut to lunch shortly. But can somebody turn the lights off? Watch this video. Volume up, please. Can we get the volume? Can we bump up the volume or no? You got to put it from the back? Okay, but put it up. Volume. Or let me know when you guys fix it. You have the video, can you play it? You guys can play it from the back, right? They'll figure it out right now. How many of you know Rocket Mortgage? Did you know that Rocket Mortgage, this is where I was talking about mortgage company, like me and Neil Patel are talking about adding technology to the company, which makes the company worth more, tech. So Rocket Mortgage did something very interesting. You know who the biggest real estate company is in the world? Biggest real estate company? It's not EXP or Keller Williams. It's Zillow. So Zillow is the biggest company. I think they're worth about 14 billion. And then the second biggest one is Redfin. So check out what the Rocket Mortgage did. Rocket Mortgage bought Redfin. Do you understand what's going to happen to the mortgage space? Why would they buy Redfin? You know Redfin has all the data about homes, right? Homes, owners, real estate. So Rocket Mortgage acquired Redfin. So now Rocket Mortgage is going to have all the data of all the homeowners that want to sell their home. And they're going to get that like with AI technology. They're going to get all of them. And they're going to be like, hey, how much money do you need? Hey, when they're thinking about refinancing, they have all the data. It's all about the data that you have. So now by having them, now they're going to cheat. Now they're going to have everything, and nobody's going to be able to compete with them. The only other thing UWM, the second biggest mortgage company, can do is maybe they buy Zillow, but I don't think Zillow would sell. But they bought it, and you know how they bought it? They didn't buy it with cash. They bought it with shares. So they used their shares to acquire Redfin. So now they're the same. Powerful. But those are things that you learn through people through mentors. Do we have the video ready or not yet? All right, 1 minute. Question. Oh, question.
For somebody who's just starting out of
Let me have some water, please.
for somebody who's just starting out of business, like the students in our academy, what's your recommendation for them to raise capital to start out if they don't have the experience?
Great question. And listen, like that's why I tell you again the power of attending. Like, we have a 5K mastermind. It's only $5,000 for you today, and it's a full day you spend with me and Sil, and we bring I bring some of my friends sometimes, like Neil and other people. But it's 5,000, and it's all day. If you want to come, let me know. Let our team know. It's 5,000. Tell them I said that, and we go over all of that. Sales, marketing, building your personal brand. How do you build your personal brand? You got to learn from somebody that has done it. Operations, systems, processes, how to hire, how to fire, everything. Like I said before, the good, the bad, and the ugly about business. Now, how do you help clients that are young? How do they buy your product? We have a sales team in our office. So that's why I asked who sells for you. We have 40 salespeople, all right? We make 4,000 calls a day. 4,000 calls a day. Each salesperson makes 100 calls in a day. We spend money on ads, which is another topic. And, every day, consistent $50,000 in a day in sales. We did 65K a few days ago. Yesterday we had a bad day, but we still hit about close to 40K. So it's the sales team. Now, Emmanuel, our typical client is how old?
22, 25, 18 around there. They're pretty young.
What's a month ago there was this young adult. He brought in cash. How much cash was it? Remember that?
Like 17.
$17,000 cash. 18 years old. Life savings. But check this out. There's a science on how to build a sales team, which I'll talk about if there's enough time. I'm going to be here all weekend, so you're going to get bored of me by the time this weekend's over. So there's a science to building a sales team. There's setters, there's closers. So just to answer the question, most of our young kids, students, they don't have credit. They don't have money. They don't have money. So we run ads, and we have I told you about who we run ads with, right? So if you want to learn how to run ads, let me know. New ads team. But we run ads where we get customers that are qualified. They have good credit. They're young. They're local, and they want to learn sales. So we're already getting qualified people that qualify. So they don't have money. They're broke, but they have credit. That's why I was telling you right here. If you're broke but you have good credit, you have a huge amount of opportunity right now, because you use other people's money. I've gotten so many collections throughout my life. I had a IRS lien that I owed like $2 million. So I just amended my taxes, so now I owe close to nothing. There's a lot of things in business that you can learn and use. But these students, when they get the calls from our setters and closers, we run them through financing. We don't have somebody here, huh? So somebody from the sales team that knows the whole process really good. Do we have anybody? Do I have any sales leader here? Sales leader? Okay, the most qualified, come up here to explain the financing part. Just run up here. Is it Kevin? Oh, Kevin just likes the spotlight. So just a little bit about Kevin. Check it out. I'm going to make you famous, Kevin. Kevin says he's the best looking guy from the team. Do you believe him or no? Yeah? You said you wanted to come on stage.
We're supposed to do our entrance, grand entrance. We'll get you tomorrow.
All right, so look, Kevin. Kevin is from Mississippi, construction worker to homeless. He's now making $20K a month. Well, I think a little bit more than that now.
A lot more.
$20K a month. So Kevin, how do you get these 18, 19, 20-year-olds, the process? What's the process to get them qualified for them to be able to spend $10,000? Because there's a lot of people in this world. And there's 19-year-olds, they don't have money, they don't have cash, but they have credit. And like 2 days ago, 65K in swipes, credit cards. How do we do that? Like how do you help somebody that's 19 years old, has a 750 credit score?
We should have brought Abe Duncan up here, but we leverage credit cards, instant credit cards, virtual credit cards, things like Apple Cards, PayPal, American Express, right? Like literal instant virtual credit cards. They get the numbers right there on the spot, and you swipe it 10, 20, 30, 40, $50,000, just depending on what it is you're selling. And the beauty of it is most people do not have money. Like most people, and even in this room right now, a lot of people are struggling with cash flow, right? But you have, like they said, opportunity to leverage other people's money. I'm shy, man. I'm nervous, baby. But leverage other people's money. Like everybody has cash flow, and the smartest thing you can do is like use someone like Albert's money, use the bank's money to get ahead, right? So it's the same thing these people are doing. Like people can't pay $10,000, but they can afford $200, $300, $400 a month. Right, so if you have people that have 670, 680, 690, 700 up credit, get credit cards. Leverage other people's money. People already have credit cards. If you have credit cards in this room, raise your hand. Who has a credit card in here? There's hundreds of thousands of dollars in here. Right, so people, millions. So not everybody has money, but most people have credit. And if they can't get credit, they can still go find other people's money. Right, so American Express. If there's one thing you guys write down today, if you're a business owner, it is American Express. It'll change your life. You will collect tens of thousands of dollars every single day, hundreds of thousands. But how you guys feeling? Let's go, baby.
Does that answer it? Yeah, so in conclusion, American Express is the easiest one because they have high limits and they're very easy to get approved. So we got a couple more minutes here. These are examples of people in our team that we've joined. Like Macario has a powerful story. He was 15 years in prison, and nobody would hire him. We hired him. He's now making over 20K a month. This is not up to date, so some of them are making more now. But you have Jamil, 20 years old, 1 kid and wife, one of our youngest on the team. He's making 20K a month. I think Jamil is 20. 20, right? We got a Chris Morales, broke immigrant from Guadalajara, struggled with bills, low GPA, now making 50K a month. Brandon Hernandez, broke, smokes, drugs, no confidence, paycheck to paycheck, now making 14K a month. So there's a lot of different people, testimonials, people that are doing good. And like Marshall was saying, why do I do this? It's fun. Sil was complaining and she was like, man, it's a lot of work. I can't wait till it's over and relax. And huh? About the driven event. So, and she means it. She wants to relax. Finally, it's over. But deep inside, she enjoys it. And when Marshall was saying when you help people and you change their lives, like our people in the back, our closers, our audience, that's when you win. When you really win is when you change others people's lives. And I'll end it with here. And then just if anybody here is interested in learning more, like the sales, the science to our sales system that we use, like we go over it in the masterminds, inner circles, because there's more time and it's more intimate. Here it's just, we have a lot of people, but I had something here that I want to show you before I jump into this one. Is the video ready or no? Okay, well, we'll play it right now. Give me 1 second. So, your sales team. This is the science that we use. There's setters. Do all of you know what a setter and closer is? Like if you want to make 50K a month, like I said, I can't tell you how to make 100K a month in just sales, like info products, like coaching programs, things like that, events. But 50K a day, I meant. We're doing it, so we can easily teach it. Some days we do like 80-something thousand in one day. So there's a science to it, setters and closers. So I'll just tell you, a setter is the one that checks to see if the client is qualified, so that a closer doesn't waste time. Because the way to close a deal is not just over the phone. When you close a deal, first you want to make sure the person is qualified so you don't waste your time. This will help you get to $50,000 in one day with you having to do no work. How involved am I in closing deals, Emmanuel, in the office? You guys don't see me there, right?
Very little.
I'll show up sometimes, jump on a call, but it's rare. They do all the work. So a setter is going to find, okay, are they legit? Do they really have a 750 credit score? Or maybe they have some cash, maybe they have savings, debit card. Do they have any credit cards available? So they set it, and then they give it to the closer. The closer then, there's a science to closing the deal. It's a demo. So we have a demo, meaning a presentation. So they get on a Zoom call. Everybody knows what Zoom is, right? Zoom. Video call, and share the screen. And then it's a whole presentation. It takes like 30, 40 minutes, sometimes more. Sometimes it takes hours. But we have our closers are so good. They're very high pressure salespeople. They're like, think about the best car salesmen. You know how aggressive they are? Annoying they are when you walk into they're like following you to the restroom. That's how our people are, our closers. So they're not gonna get off the Zoom call unless they collect some money. If you go to my sales floor in our office, some of you guys went there yesterday, CEOs. If you go in there, you're not gonna get out of there without spending something. They try to sell our own family members things. Like my dad walks around, people don't know who he is, and they're like selling him some stuff. That's how aggressive they are. Now you get on a demo because you have to get on that video call because you're gonna be able to close it more easily because they're gonna see you. It's a video call, so they get on the demo and they close it. Now there's affiliates. So affiliates, they send us referrals, so we don't have to spend money on ads. Because who are they calling? The setters. They're calling our leads that come from the ads that we run on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram. We also do a lot of DM ads. So we run an ad that gets us a bunch of DMs on my account. So I have a full-time person in India. His name is Lavish. And you know what Lavish does all day from India? He's on my DMs. So some of you think that I'm DMing you. It's my team. It's Lavish. So Lavish is getting all these deals that are coming in, DMs, and Lavish calls him. The cool thing about doing this, well, he probably logged me out from my Instagram too, so we'll skip that part. But affiliates send us deals, and then we don't have to spend money on the ads, but we pay them like 10% commission. So they make 10% just sending us business. So we have our affiliates, we have our students. How many students here? Students driven? We have students. So now we have in our office headquarters. This is why it's important to have a space, operating space, because we also have students. Students are learning sales, and once they graduate, they could either work for us or we can place them in other businesses to sell for you. So if you're a business owner and you're the only one selling, or you have like one or two people and you need more salespeople so that they can do all the work and get you sales, and you don't have to do anything. So we have people that we also place in other businesses to sell for you, whatever you sell. So that's that. So students are in our office and they're learning and they're graduating. They get deals too. And they send them to our setters that goes to our closers, and they make 10%, 5%, 10%, depending on the scenario. But that's that. Then we have our sales leaders. So our sales leaders are you guys there? Stand up. So how many sales leaders do we have? Who is that? I see Chris, Kevin, and Ave. Is that I saw Casey over there. What's up, Casey? And who are we missing? Kenny? Oh, Kenny's over there. So sales leaders are different than closers. So we have our sales closers. They're highly level closers, but we have sales leaders. When you develop sales leaders, Patrick Bet-David talks about it all the time. He mentored me on that. Sales leaders will take your revenue to a whole different level. They're higher standard than closers. And then setters become closers, and then some closers become sales leaders. Some sales leaders lose their spot because they get lazy, but you get the point. There is a lot of science behind the sales. Let's play the video really quick.
Okay.
Hit the lights if you can.
Daddy is the sweetest daddy in the world. Daddy is the most handsome. The smartest. The most clever. The kindest. He is my Superman. Daddy wants me to do well at school. Daddy is just great, but he lies. He lies about having a job. He lies about having money. He lies that he's not tired. He lies that he's not hungry. He lies that we have everything. He lies about his happiness. He lies because of me.
Powerful, right? So like a man that can't take care of their family, where your kids see you and you don't want to be a failure. You want to take care of them. You want to provide, protect. So if you're in business right now and you're going through struggles, or maybe you feel like you might go out of business soon, or you're maybe down to your last amount of cash you have, things are not going well, like it's like that. It happens. You know, there's good times, there's bad times. In the bad times, you find out who really is there for you, who's really your running mate, who's really has your back. And then the easy times, like I said, 2021, like people get comfortable. People are faking it. It's fake money. You get lazier. You don't get better. Hard times, like many are going through right now, are the times where you become great, where you get more opportunity. It forces you to be better. So just one quick thing, if you're going through it right now and you think, man, it's really hard right now, and you're thinking about giving up, don't. You might be that close to turning it around. You have to change. You have to be okay with changing. And remember that a lot of people here are going to say this. Look, how many of you are going to be the next who's going to be the next billionaire here? A lot of hands, right? Who's going to be the next, let's just say millionaire? Okay? So the thing that I always say, like whenever I'm in different stages and whatever, like I see a lot of people, everybody's going to be the next millionaire, the next billionaire. The reality is that the next billionaire in this room is probably just going to be one or two people. That's it. Everybody else, you're going to leave and you're not going to do shit. That's why, like my talk, I can give you a motivational, emotional speech and make you guys cry and tell you about how I started from nothing. Talk about like I'm, wetback, didn't know how to speak English, and I slept in the car and motivate you. There's a lot of people here that are going to motivate you. I just want to give you value where you're going to learn how to actually make the money. How it is hard to be a loan officer. It is hard to be a realtor. It is hard to be in sales, solar, whatever. If you don't make sales, you can't pay the bills. But don't beat yourself up because you fucked up your credit, because you have collections. Maybe you have IRS problems. Maybe you have maybe you got into. I have a really talented guy in the sales team for Driven. I'm not going to say his name, but a lot of people know who he is. Good-looking, tall, white guy. He's white Mexican. Maybe that gives it up. He's half Mexican, half white. One of our most talented guys in sales. Like he closes anything. But you know what his problem is? He likes to get himself into problems. He likes the nightlife. He likes to go out and just find himself with something that happens. Too much alcohol, late nights, gets into trouble. And he just keeps, it seems like he likes it. He just likes getting into trouble. And I tell my young guys, hey, stay away from drugs, stay away from alcohol, and stay away from women. Don't be out past 10 p.m. Nothing good is going to happen past 10 p.m. But, it's easier said than done. You gotta go through mistakes. But I just want to thank here, I want to thank like my family, because everything that I do it for them. The little one, like sometimes you have the crappiest days at work. Everything goes wrong. Somebody leaves your company, you get another lawsuit, you get chargebacks, somebody betrays you, like shitty days, things happen. But every time I get home, like they just bring so much life to me. The little one, Callie, she was being shy up here, but she runs to me, and it's like they haven't seen you. Well, the big one is already kind of Italia. I get back home and sometimes she's like, she doesn't even pay attention to me. Now she sleeps in her own room and she has her own deal going on. I don't know. She has her iPad and she wants a cell phone now. She has her friends. They're always like on FaceTime. So she's like, and I'm like, I thought you said you were always going to sleep with me. And she's like, changed my mind. Now she sleeps in her room. She's always in her room. So they grow fast, and then they're gone. So like enjoy your kids, especially when they're little, 2 years old, 5 years old. They just want to be with you. You're their hero, and you want to be a good example to them, because they're gonna want a man like the dad. If the dad's a bad example, they're gonna have a bad dude that's going to go and take him. So you want to set standards. You know, as a parent, you know, like Sil is unbelievable with the kids, and you need a great mother. You need a great family, and you got to take care of them. You got to provide and protect them. So I want to thank them for I thought you were gonna like tackle me from behind. Yeah. So I want to thank my family because they keep me driven. You know, they keep me driven. I do it for them. I also want to thank my pops, my mom. You know, they're always there for me. Even I mean, the whole time since I started the business, when I started it, when I got in trouble, before I started the business, I remember one time my dad. They're very old school Mexicans. You know, very humble people, and they don't believe in banks and stuff like that. So they saved up like almost $50,000 cash, their life savings. And I remember in 2008 when I lost everything, they wanted to help me. So my dad he had like money and like foil paper and stuff like that and cash and I remember they're like, hey, you could help you out. And I'm like, how are you going to help me out? Like, I just lost everything. You know, I'm fucked. I made a mistake. And he just brought money, like, and he kept on bringing foils, paper with cash. So he's like, oh, here's 8,000, here's 7,000. Let me find, oh, fuck, I can't find the other one. And they were looking through, like digging deep. And yeah, long story short, they gave me close to 50 grand, like over time, just to help me get through the hard times. So everybody has their own story. Like Neil Patel, he a lot of people don't know, but he started young. He's just really smart, a wizard. And his parent, I think it was his dad or his dad, they gave him a good chunk of money in the beginning to start his business. So it was close to $1 million. He'll tell you if you ask him. So Neil Patel grew something big, right? But he also had a different story. He got a big chunk of money. He was very, very smart. He is very, very smart. He's a wizard. But some people, you know, some people get help. Some people get more help. Some people are luckier. Some people deal with different challenges. So everybody has a different story. So it doesn't matter how old you are. If you're 50 and it's hard and you're about to quit and you don't know if you still have a chance, you just got to start right now. Start right now, because if you don't start right now, like it's better starting now than never. And you could change your life around even if you're 50, even if you're 60. We've had a lot of people that we help and they're later in their years. Look at Macario. He was in prison for almost 20 years. And now he's making more money than ever. So my parents, they always been there for me. This in Cancun. This was 2013. So appreciate your parents, because one day you're not going to have them. And if you're saying, oh, you know what, I see my parents, they still have 20 years of life. How many of you are close to your parents? Anybody love your parents? So how many years do you think your parents have left? 5 years? What else? Anybody else? 10? Okay, how many of you see your parents every single day? Not a lot, right? How many of you see them like maybe once a month or a few times a year? Maybe they don't live close. So how often do you see your parents, Carlos? Okay, so let's just say you see them 5 times a year? Okay, 5 times a year. How old are your parents? 60s. Do you love them? Yeah. So how many more years do you have them? Just be honest. 20 years, okay. But it's not, that's not the way it works. You know, like he has 20 more years times 5. Not 20 years, because you don't see them every day. And that's if they don't die sooner or some tragedy happens or they get sick or something happens, right? They could die tomorrow, they could die next week, they could die in a few years. But there's 20 years that, if they stay healthy, 20 more years that he has them. But he only sees them 5 times a year. So that's 5 times a year times 20. So how much is that? 100 times, right? 20 times 5 is 100? You with me? So you have 100 times more times to see your parents. So when you see them tomorrow, now you got 99 times left. Now 98. then you start the countdown. So think about it like that. You might not have a lot of times to enjoy your parents, and one day they're not going to be there anymore. One day you grow up and you don't pay attention to your kids, and when you're old, they're not going to care for you. They're not going to take care of you. And just finally, like followers, everybody, all of you that are here, the audience, people that believed in us, that still believed in us, new friendships on TikTok, anybody in the world that's watching this, that'll see this, and like YouTube, all the firm believers that have been here from the start, that are still here, people that left and came back, like Diego, he came to Driven, then he got mad and he left, he stopped coming, and now he's back, so we're happy to have him back. He came back and I got him a Ferrari like this. Now he drives a Ferrari. So, sometimes you leave and because you think that me and Sil are evil people, that we're scammers, that we're fake, that we're going to go out of business, or somebody tells you, whatever, and then you believe it, and then you're around toxic people, and they're going to just talk, right? And then you start believing them. But there's always two sides of the story. There's people that I was associated with a year ago, and I'm not associated with them anymore. And some of you know who they are because you don't see them on my stuff. I took them off of my pages. I took them off my podcast. I just took it because I don't want to flow any power to people that I'm not in good terms with anymore. But there's always going to be two sides of the story. So remember, if you ever have doubt, remember that you got to get both sides of the story. Not because somebody says shit about someone means that it's correct. Go to the source and be like, hey, so this bothers me and I'm concerned. Can we talk? Oh, yeah, well, this is what really happened. Oh, I didn't know that. And then sometimes you go to the other side and then you find out, wait, it's not greener on the other side. And then you want to come back, and that's cool. Diego's back. I have a few others back right here. I'm not going to say the name, but I know you're right there. She's back. So just remember that. Watch the source of your advice, and I just want to thank the followers and everybody that has been here the whole ride. Like I said, I want to give you as much value. If anybody has any questions, just feel free to raise your hand. I'll stop. I'll answer it. I'm an open book. I'm very transparent. Sometimes I have a big-ass mouth.